This is the Honda CRF250RX, a bona fide racing dirt bike and a bike that I have probably no business riding at all as a decidedly average overweight dual sport rider. And yet, I've spent the last week riding it here in BC, and I thought it might be fun to talk about how I feel about it and maybe even go for a ride. I'm up here at the Traction E-Rag facility, and they run a fleet of Honda dirt bikes. This time I came back up and I thought, I want to try one of those CRF250RXs. So I'd never ridden one, so I thought, why not give it a shot this week? So I've been riding it in the training, and I've been riding it on the trail rides. And we're about to take off on another fun, not super difficult, but there's some interesting stuff ride. And so I thought I would take you along. And maybe you're not interested in dirt bike reviews, I don't know, but it's definitely a unique take on it as a guy who has no business and almost no interest in riding the fastest bikes, fastest dirt bikes, really riding fast off-road at all. So this bike is very different than the CRF250F I have at home. And honestly, I expected it to just be unbearable, like pulling my arms off, unbearably powerful. And it's not that exactly, but you do have to work a lot harder on a bike like this. The trade-off is that you can get a lot more performance. It's jumpier, it's twitchier, it's more powerful, and it does not have the low-end grunt in the same way that the F does. This thing wants to live at a higher RPM, so let's go ride. So, first things you notice about the RX is, one, it is super uncomfortable. Like, it is one of the only bikes I've ever ridden that is more comfortable standing up than sitting down. Yeah, the seat is just narrow, it's hard, it's not a bike you're supposed to sit on. It's obviously not designed for comfort. And one of the things that strikes you immediately is the weight. It's so lightweight, and if you're a dual sport adventure guy like I am, you've never ridden anything like it. I have a 250F, and it's light, but this RX is light in a completely different way. And the third thing you notice right away is the power is incredibly snatchy, it's twitchy, it wants to rev high, it wants to get to high revs quickly, and it accelerates and has a ton of power. There's a deer. Deer in the field. I thought I was going to have a hell of a time getting my feet down. In fact, everyone told me I was going to have a hell of a time getting my feet down, and I do not have a hell of a time getting my feet down. I can flat or tiptoes easy on both sides. It is so much louder than the F and the other easier to ride dirt bikes I've been on, and a ton of power. So it's kind of like cheat mode, but also not. So you need power to get the front wheel up, or you want to jump something, it has instant, immediate power, and more than you probably want. And again, none of this is earth-shattering revelation to those who spend a lot of time on dirt bikes, but like I said, this is kind of an outsider's point of view. They said this one isn't lowered. I don't know. I feel like I should have more trouble getting on it, but right now anyway, at the 30-inch inseam, I can flat foot one side or tiptoe both sides. This is a newish groove, so we're not doing anything super crazy today, but this part is pretty fun. Kind of technical, but this is a place where the RX does not shine, in my opinion, because we're going so slowly. And it just wants to rev high, so it's just a lot of clutch work. And honestly, I should be keeping the revs up and just using the clutch to keep it from dying, because it wants to flame out just like my RL. And the reason for that is because the RL is built on the RX, or the R, one or the other. They're both built on the R, that's what it is. And you know, it's a race bike designed to be blasted at high RPMs through the desert, not putting through a narrow single track-ish technical area. Wow, this got a lot easier to ride than it was last year. I will say, one big thing I noticed immediately is the suspension. And it's pretty tight when you're going slow, but if you get into the attack position and start rocking, just like hauling ass, it eats up everything. It loves it. In a way that, you know, cheaper bikes do not. This bike is $8,600 new. I looked it up. Less than a new DRZ for a much faster bike, but not street legal, at least not where I live. So, it wouldn't be my first choice for a trail bike. If I lived somewhere where I could just blast through the desert all the time, this would be awesome to have, but you know, like, see what I mean about when I get the front end up, even I can do it. And I'm terrible. Like, it's obviously not a bike designed for people like me, who ride like me, who want to ride slow like me. There you go. Yeah, she didn't even put her foot down. That was awesome. But just tons of power for just silly things like that. There's a creek bed right here. Oh, there's actual water in it. I've never actually seen water in it. This is cool because these guys hadn't really ridden dirt before, and they're doing free crossing on day 2. Pretty awesome. I see why people run recklesses in these bikes because it eliminates that flame out twitchiness. The feeling on and off is pretty harsh. It's good if you want to pop the front wheel up, but not if you're just trying to kind of ride slow. So again, it's all about clutch control. It's a different kind of bike and power delivery than what I'm used to, because I usually ride slower bikes. This is a bike for someone that wants to ride fast, and that's in general not me. So it's a fun kind of peek at how the other half lives. A couple good descents up here that are fun. It balances incredibly well, especially slow. Like, we're gonna crawl down this hill. Feel really good. I don't like the slow race on it because of the twitchy power. I keep killing it, but in terms of like just cruising down a hill and keeping it balanced, keeping an eye out on what's going on down below me, it's great at that. It's really, like, I see why people like these bikes. For me, it's not a great trail bike. That time I revved it, but didn't actually let the clutch out. So I realize it's not as super compelling. It's not really a review when I'm riding a fast bike very slow. But that's the group I'm with right now. Some beginners doing some fun stuff, learning and getting out. But I wanted to kind of give some thoughts, and this seemed more interesting than me just standing in front of the bike talking. I will say, if you want to ride fast, if this is a bike that if you want to ride fast as possible off-road, I've ridden probably as fast as I've ever gone off-road on this bike. We were doing like hot laps around a loop that we're all going the same direction like 2 days ago, and dude, I was taking corners at speeds I didn't think were possible and just flying through some really like bouncy up and down whoopy stuff, and it just flies across the top in a way that no other bike I've ever ridden does. It's a really cool experience. So, you know, if I were a person who wanted to ride fast all the time, this would be a great bike. But I really personally just want to go places, and I'm not super concerned with getting there as fast as possible, so no big deal. So, in conclusion, it's twitchy and difficult to ride. It requires a lot of you. You have to work hard. It's like exercise. It is a bike that has to be tamed and controlled, not a bike that will just be compliant and gently carry you to your destination. None of these things are surprising, but as a person who has little experience with a higher performance dirt bike like this, it is nice at least to see that some of my suspicions are confirmed. So, no expert on dirt bikes, no expert on the RX in particular, but I do want to say thanks to Dallas and the gang here at Traction E-Rag for letting me borrow theirs for a few days, see how the other half lives, as it were. And this is their XT-ADV training event, so these are all newish adventure and dual sport riders out here learning off-road riding skills on dirt bikes. It's a really cool program. They're doing all this on day 2. Most of these people have almost no dirt experience, so it's pretty neat. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Basically confirmed every suspicion I had and have no insights whatsoever for people that have ridden one of these before. So if you suffered through it this long, thanks, I appreciate you. Maybe even subscribe if you enjoy the way that I ramble on about inane topics. But for now and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Yeah! See? Piece of cake, easy as pie.